Time.
Mm-mm. Hey, thank you for joining us. We are here, the Sacramento Real Estate Show. It's Eric Noel, the real estate guy. I'm here with my man, Ben Johnston, Movement Mortgage. Ben, what's going on?
Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. The time is upon us, huh? All the holiday seasons is here. We got Thanksgiving. I can't believe it's what, 6 days away?
Yeah, incredible, man. It's flown by.
Man, I can remember when we just got started and it's already almost Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, we have decorations up and the whole nine.
Do you? Oh man, I've been
Yeah.
getting pressed since uh uh since Halloween to get some Christmas lights up. I'm like, come on, at least let's wait till after Thanksgiving, man. I don't know. Things just move too fast. I'm a seasonal guy. I need to celebrate in that time frame just so I don't get old that much faster.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, we don't have lights up on the outside of the house, but the tree is up. So we're making
Oh,
progress.
hey man, I can't wait. So our thing is after Thanksgiving we go up to Apple Hill. So we go up there, cut our tree down, and I can't wait to get that rib, that sandwich, that some beer, some wine, and my tree. Then, because I like that pine smell in the house. I don't know about you, but I got to have that. That's just reminds me. And then my dad, like, I don't know if I told you the story. He always tells me, you're a Noel. You have to have a real Christmas tree. It's
Yeah,
blasphemy
man.
not to. So
You're obligated. Yeah, that is
obligated.
wonderful. I actually grew up in Apple Hill, so I used to work at the tree farms when I was in high school. So I know
what?
exactly what you're talking about. Oh, did you freeze up? Uh-oh, technical difficulties. Well, while we're waiting for Eric to come back, everybody, if you can still hear me, thanks again for joining. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching it on the replay, we thank you very much. We are here as your real estate source, um, and we're here just to offer as much value as we can, answer all your real estate questions, and show you how to own real estate and use it to build long-term wealth. So I was going to do a loan program highlight today, and it's a special FHA loan program called the 203K. And so the 203K program, it actually allows you to finance repairs on a house. So right now, if you're looking at properties and you're just not finding something that you love in your price range, we can actually do an FHA loan that helps you finance repairs. So you can remodel a kitchen, you can fix a roof, you can do paint, carpet, flooring, whatever you want with this program, with the exception of a swimming pool. You can't put in a swimming pool, but you can give the whole house a facelift and make it your own right off the bat. So there's two versions of the program. The streamlined version lets you borrow $30,000 to do renovations, and the full 203K lets you borrow up to 100,000 to do renovations. So you can literally find a house that's not super desirable because it needs a lot of work, and you can finance that work to be done as part of your mortgage when you purchase the house. So if there's a house for sale for 300,000 and you want to do $100,000 worth of work, let's say you want to do the bathrooms, the kitchen, the flooring, paint, the roof, if you can get all that done for 100,000, we can actually get you a loan for about 400 or 400,000. So 300,000 plus the 100,000, and you just have to put 3.5% down on that final price, including the repairs. So a really cool loan program. Another thing in news, the market update for the week. So last week, the CPI numbers came out, and those are the core inflation numbers that the Fed looks at. And if you watched our call in October, we talked about this. Inflation is coming down. So those CPI numbers that came out last week on Thursday, they were lower than expected. So interest rates for mortgages actually started to come down too. So we're back under 7%, which is great. We're going in the right direction, and we hope that this trend continues. So one thing I would say is right now, interest rates are a little bit higher. I would say if you're motivated to buy, if you're sick of renting, get out there, start looking at homes. You can negotiate really good deals with sellers right now to get them to credit you money to buy down your interest rate, to save your monthly payment, keep that lower. And then when rates do go down next year, you can refinance that loan. I will say when rates do come down, and they always go up and down, there's going to be a lot more competition in the market, and there's going to be a lot more buyers to compete with. So I think right now is a perfect storm to be able to get a good deal and get the house that you want. Maybe use a 203K loan and get those renovations done. He's back.
Hey, keep going, man. I'm here.
Hey,
I'm listening.
yeah, so I just did a recap. I talked about the 203K loan and how they can use that to fix up a property. And then I gave a little bit of a market update on what's happening with interest rates too. So the example that I used for a 203K loan is if somebody's out there and they're looking at properties in their price range and maybe they're just not finding it because they find a home that maybe needs a lot of work, you know, it's not appealing to them.
Uh
With the
huh.
203K loan, you can actually finance renovations. So you can fix the roof, you can remodel the kitchen, you can do flooring, paint, a number of things. So, what's your take on that? I mean, are there properties that you think would be more attractive to people if they were remodeled? Maybe something that's on the market that doesn't look so great right now.
Of course, you have some of those people who have been through remodels and it's a nightmare.
Hmm.
And you have some of those people who are not sure if they need to find the contractors, if they need
Yeah.
to be the project managers. So I don't know if you already went through that piece. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that if you
Yeah,
didn't?
absolutely. So I just talked about the program as a like a 30,000 foot view, right? If you
Okay.
find a house that needs work for 300,000, you can borrow up to 100,000 for a final price of 400, but get all that work done. So that's a great question asking about the contractors and everything. So when you do a 203K loan on a house, there's uh, three main people involved. The first person is a HUD consultant. And there's a list of people on the HUD's website. I spoke with a couple in the last couple weeks. And what they do is they come out to the house and they meet you there and they go through and find out anything that FHA wants to be done on the house. So if the roof needs to be replaced, if there's pest work like dry rot and things like that, electrical things, they're going to say what the minimum repairs required are. Okay. The second person is a contractor. So the contractor is going to work with the HUD consultant and they're going to talk to them about what needs to be done. And then they're going to ask you, as the home buyer, what your wish list is. So, above and beyond what needs to be done, what do you want to be done? Do you want new floors? Do you want to remodel the kitchen? Do you want to remodel a bathroom? What's the work that's your preference? Once you give them that list, they're going to work up all the bids to get that work done. Okay. And then we have the appraiser go out. The appraiser talks to them and they do an as is value, and then they'll do an after the repairs are done value for us as the bank. And then when you close on the home, that contractor has between 60 days and 6 months to get that work done. So the payment for the contractor, the work to be done, it's all set in stone in writing. So they get half of their money up front to start the work and get materials, but they don't get paid until that work is done. So the contractors that we use for this program are motivated to get it done quickly so you can have your fancy new kitchen and floors and everything done as soon as possible after closing on the house.
Great, man. And that sounds like an incentive for the seller too, because I mean, if they have a house that may not qualify for FHA and you
Yep.
come in with the 203K and they can actually get it sold and don't have to go super low to an investor, because
Yeah.
when investors come in, they're looking at that 60 to maybe 70% ARV. So
Yeah.
you as the new homeowner, you instantly get that because it's being fixed up into that whatever that appraised value comes in after the repair value.
Yeah.
So, quick question: so, if a person, if it's move-in ready,
Yeah.
do when do they start making that payment?
So it's a standard mortgage. So when you get a mortgage loan, it's different than paying rent. So if you're paying rent right now, you pay on the first of the month between the first and the fifth for the month ahead of you, right?
Right.
With a mortgage, the mortgage interest is paid in arrears. So when you make your mortgage payment, it's due between the first and the 15th of the month. So you have a grace period there. You're paying the previous month's interest. So if somebody is closing on a house this month in November, they don't have their first mortgage payment until January 1st. So it's nice to have that cushion, especially if you're moving out with a rental or moving out from a rental. You won't have a double payment for that month that you're moving. So the first payment starts the month following the month that you close. So you close in November, you pay in January. You close in December, you pay in February.
Man, I love it, man. Thanks for explaining that, because those are some of the
Yeah.
questions I get all the time. And, people are worried about that because they're like, okay, am I going to have to pay the mortgage payment and my first, my last payment for my apartment if I can't move in until this day? Um, but I do have another question
Yeah.
as far as the 203K, because I know I get these questions all the time. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I've always supported 203Ks because you got to have the right lender that knows the program
Yeah.
like you and can get it done. Um,
They
and
are tricky. There's a lot of moving
they
parts.
can be tricky,
Yeah.
but it's great that you guys have got that settled and put together. So just let's clarify where the contractors come from. Does the home owner or potential homeowner, the buyer, do they have to find
Mhm.
the contractors, or is that handled through you and the HUD advisor?
Um, so there is some flexibility there. And I'm glad you brought up the point of these being more difficult transactions. I mean, a real estate transaction as it is has a lot of people involved. And that's why it takes true professionals like you and I to keep everything together to get it closed on time. So when you introduce the 203K, there's just that many more moving parts to it. So, Movement Mortgage, we actually have a renovation department. And so that's huge because they help us manage all this stuff along the way so that it doesn't get hung up. So, as far as the contractor goes, if the buyer knows a contractor, or if they have a relationship with a contractor, we have some paperwork that that person can fill out to get approved for the project. If they don't want to deal with that, or if they don't know someone, we have a list of people that are already familiar with doing 203Ks and that
Hmm.
are approved to do those already. Because, I mean, when it comes to contractors, um, there's a difference between maybe a handyman or a contractor that does, new construction. So we want to find someone and we want to make sure they're licensed and bonded, all their licenses are current, all their insurance is current, and that they have a proven track record of doing the type of work that we want them to do and in a timely manner as well. So if the homeowner knows somebody, we can use their person as long as all their stuff's in order. Otherwise, we can provide a list of people that are already approved. And some of the pest inspection companies around our area are actually approved, and they've done 203K stuff in the past.
Man, I love it, man. This
Yep.
is just it's exciting, man, because right now, you're not paying 20 to 30,000 over asking
Yep.
for a property. So 203K loans are definitely being looked at right now. Also, I wanted to clarify just for the audience. Um, so you mentioned a $300,000 house and putting in $100,000 worth of renovations if need be. So technically, they're qualifying for the 400,000, correct?
Exactly. So there's two versions of the 203K. There's the streamline, which lets you finance up to 30,000 in repairs, and then the full through 203K or the standard you go up to that 100,000. So um, if you have a $300,000 home and you're doing $100,000 of renovation, you're basically putting a down payment on a $400,000 home. So you're just doing your 3.5% of 400,000 to get that money to do the renovations.
Okay. And as far can did you go into the streamline already while I was offline?
A little bit, yeah. I talked about it.
Okay.
Um, you can't do a swimming pool with any of these, unfortunately, but you
With the
can do roof.
streamline. With the
Even the
streamline.
standard, you can't do a pool.
Got it. Got it.
With the standard, if you have like severe work that needs to be done, if you're moving load bearing walls, if you're doing things that require permits and stuff like that, chances are you might do a standard. But if it's little things, just to get the house up to HUD standards and then maybe some cosmetic that you can do for less than 30,000, you can
Mhm.
do the streamline for that.
Okay, and I have another question because you mentioned the HUD standards for our audience, so we'll be
Yeah.
clear. Because clarity is what home buyers need when they're going out here looking, and we're showing because it helps them make a better decision. So I just want to be clear: is the only way that you can use the 203K loan if there's FHA work that has to be done, or can you use it just to spruce up the joint?
Good question. You can use it for just the things that you want. So if there's a house that's in decent condition, maybe you just don't like the floors, or it's in decent condition, maybe the previous owner fixed up a bathroom, but they didn't do the kitchen. You can do those things with this program. It doesn't have to need work according to FHA.
Oh man, that's awesome. So you mean to tell me she could get that new kitchen and he could get that new bathroom?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, right
awesome,
off the
man.
bat. So
Yeah.
again, you own the house and then the contractor has time to get the work done. But yeah, you can finance those, which is way cheaper than going to Lowe's and putting it on a credit card or other ways of financing, especially with rates on credit cards and things going up.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Giving people options in this market is amazing, man. And a lot of people, a lot of lenders, like I said, because there's a lot of moving parts, sometimes they shy away from those things, man. That's
Mhm.
why you're A1. You know what you're doing. You guys have it all together over there. Thank you for sharing that with the audience. That being said, hey, man, is there anything else you want to share?
Just to reiterate, I gave a little bit of an update on rates, and I think there is a good opportunity right now for buyers being able to get a good deal, buyers being able to pick the house that they want. They can be a little more picky right now just because of where rates and inventory is at. So I think it's a good opportunity to start looking. Even if you have a thought in the back of your head that you might not want to rent anymore and you might want to buy a house, I think it's a good opportunity right now while things are a little bit slower. Because again, last week we saw the interest rates for mortgages start to come down. So I think that's going to continue into next year. And when that does happen, you are going to see more buyers in the market. So you're going to have more competition. I don't think it will be to the level as it was during COVID, I don't think people are going to be paying way over list price and things like that, but there is going to be more competition. There's a lot of people on the sidelines right now waiting for those rates to come down, but I think there's a really good opportunity to get great deals right now. So I would just end with that, um, and say, hey, reach out to Eric, see what homes are in the neighborhood, see what things cost. Just start to brainstorm on it, because if you don't want to rent forever, you know, it's never too soon to start looking.
Exactly. So, we're coming up, like we said, on the holiday next week, and we're also coming up for some an important decision that they need to make. Do you want to renew your lease, or do you want to see what it takes to become a homeowner?
Mm.
I would say let's get with Ben and I, come up with a plan. Even if it's not next month, it may be in the spring, but it's good to get started now. Now, figure out what you got to do to become a homeowner so that you can tell the land you can quit making your landlord rich. I say that's the key, man. So, if a person wanted to, or is, kind of putting it in their mind, making a decision, should I or shouldn't I? I don't know what my credit is. I think I got this car payment. I think my credit is this. I don't
Yeah.
have a 700 credit score. What do you suggest they do? How would they get in touch with you?
I mean, you can follow me on Instagram. I always put a lot of like real estate tips, credit tips, mortgage tips. My handle on Instagram is at LendPro, LENDPRO. You can always reach out to me there, shoot me a DM. People ask questions all the time, and I'm happy to have a conversation there. Um, or you can get my information from Eric. If you want to drop me a call directly, my cell is 916-541-5225. You can always text or call that number. And yeah, just out here trying to educate people and help them move on to the next level.
Hey man, that's the key. Home ownership, man. We're passionate about it. We love to
Yeah.
give the keys away. We love to sit down at the signing table, because I know it changes lives. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It changed my life, um, and I want to get as many people into homes as humanly possible in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That's my
Especially with
goal.
these rents going up. I think rents are really going to start to skyrocket.
Man,
So,
it's crazy out there. I hear people are paying $2,600 a month to live in an apartment.
whoo,
So,
that's
yes, in
crazy.
Sacramento. So, it's crazy, man. It's unfair. Hopefully it's motivation.
Yeah.
I know, some people have credit challenges. I know some people have things that they got to clear up and take care of before they get started. But I don't say take care of those things before you get started. I say get started and let a professional help you figure out what's the best steps to do to get you there, right? What if somebody is credit challenged, Ben? What is your steps to help them out with that?
We have a credit repair company that we trust very, very much in Roseville. We refer out to them. That's Blue Water Credit. They do a terrific job. They've helped out clients in the past. They don't have to do credit repair services. They can put together a quick plan, an action plan for you to follow, whether it just be getting rid of some old accounts or paying something down. Um, at the time of application, I actually do a plan as well. So I'll run through, I'll look at the credit. If there's any opportunity to get the score up, I can tell you that same day on the phone, and it doesn't cost you anything. So just finding out where you're at is super important. Um, just yesterday, I was talking with a client. We looked at the credit, and just by spending $300, it was going to get their score up almost 40 points. And they didn't know that they needed to pay those cards down until I looked at it and told them. So I know credit's kind of like a taboo thing. It's very personal, but hey,
Mhm.
everything's confidential with us. If we take a look at it, we'll give you good advice. We won't leave you hanging. And like you said, if now is not the right time, we'll point you in the right direction to get where you want to be.
Great, man. Thank you for that, man. One last question before I let you go, because I've talked to clients that's been in this situation before.
Yeah.
um, and I'm not saying step on anybody's toes, but let's say they haven't. They had talked to a lender a couple of months back. that lender isn't returning their call because their credit was challenged, or they're just out of the business. Because let's face it,
Mhm.
not every lender and real estate agent is the same. And in a tough market, some fall off, right?
Yeah, it's very
um
true.
but they're kind of in that situation where they're like, well, I just have my credit pulled. Talking to Ben, he might pull my credit, and it could jack me up. Can you um answer those questions for our audience?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a misconception that pulling a credit report will hurt your score. It can affect you a couple points, but it's not going to be the difference between qualifying and not qualifying. And if I pull a report and your score drops 3 points, but I tell you how to get it up another 30, it's like the benefit is there, and at least you know where you're at. A
Exactly.
quick tip for people: if you go to optoutprescreen.com, you can actually opt out of pre qualified credit offers, and it'll help out with putting you on the do not call list so you can cut down on those spam calls. And a lot of times that will offset the mortgage pull, and it'll give you back more points on your score. So check out optoutprescreen.com. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It takes 2 seconds to fill out. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just finding out where you're at. If you talked with a lender, all lenders aren't created equal. We have stuff that we can offer that the big banks don't even know about. So if you're just walking into the bank talking to somebody there, it's definitely worth getting a second opinion. Um, if you spoke with someone last year when it was crazy busy and they just didn't have the time to get back to you, that's not fair. That's not the service that you deserve. So reach out, get a second opinion. I would love to talk to anybody, whether it's just a preliminary conversation or you're ready to get approved. I'm here to help out because, like Eric said, we just want to help as many people as possible because this is life changing stuff and we both experienced it ourselves.
Exactly, man. So on that note, dropping those jewels and those gems, I truly appreciate you, Ben Johnson. You're a professional, and I'm glad we're together on this show and helping clients together get into homes, man. So you enjoy your family and your Thanksgiving and your the rest of your weekend.
All right. Thank you so much for having me again, Eric. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good
Yes,
weekend,
sir.
everyone.
See y'all later.
Bye.